My dad likes to complain that once every 7 years or so, his birthday gets obscured by either Passover or Easter. And as it turns out, once every 70 years, his birthday gets obscured by a global pandemic. We had offered to take him to Red Lobster this weekend, but since that isn't going to be an option, he said all he wanted was a Devil's Food chocolate cake, so we're going to do that instead.
Honky, honky, the witchy cat got no.
First, I have a few thank yous to offer. Since I posted the first of these videos and lamented that baking requires not only ingredients, but infrastructure, a few of you sent me some infrastructure. I think the weekend following that first posting, we had 3 separate Amazon Prime delivery guys wandering around the parking lot of our building trying to figure out which was our apartment. So thank you to Andy and Kate for the sieves. Tina provided the toothpicks and the oven mitts. And Sarah sent the dinosaur cake pan. I think. You didn't all label your Amazon Prime deliveries, so we're taking some educated guesses on who sent what. So if I missed you, it was not intentional. Thank you so much. Okay. COVID-19, it's all COVID-19, and this moment it seems like it's everything. COVID-19, it's all COVID-19, everything that you see is COVID-19. That was probably 20 seconds. That was not 20 seconds?
That was like 10 seconds.
What?
There's a timer on here. That's been more like 20 seconds.
Okay. Do not use my song idea, because obviously it is not a full 20 seconds. Another thank you to Matthew, my camera spouse, who just helped me clean and disinfect the kitchen so that we do not endanger either my mother or father by porch dropping Dad a birthday cake. So far I have set the oven to preheat, I have buttered the cake pan, and I have mixed together the cake batter, water, milk, vegetable oil, and eggs. So I'm just mixing up that batter now. Whisk! Not fork. Whisk! Whisk! I forgot the whisk. I think the whisk is also compliments of Andy and Kate. So thank you. Whisk. Today's recipe for Devil's Food cake comes courtesy of Betty Crocker. I did Google recipes for baking a Devil's Food cake from scratch, and there are a lot of recipes on the World Wide Web, but so many of them are in American, and by American I mean all of the units of measurement for measuring out your ingredients are in Imperial system units of measurements, and that is a deal breaker for me. I mean, sometime when I'm really drunk, you should ask me how I feel about the Imperial system. So there are a lot of recipes on American websites which might be the best possible recipes for their thing, but we'll never know because I avoid them because of the Imperial system. I forgot what I was doing. What? No, oh, it's still happening. Okay, the Imperial system. Okay. Yes, I understand the arguments that the Imperial system is superior because base 12 notation allows for you to divide evenly in halves and thirds and quarters, and base 10 notation does not always allow you to divide evenly by halves or quarters and rarely by thirds, like not by thirds at all. Although also, like, what if you end up with like 2.5? Like, oh, big whoop, it's impossible now. So I do get the arguments in favor of the imperial system because of the way it divides more evenly. And no, I do not buy the arguments that the human brain was wired better for base 10 notation or something. I think the human brain is wired for whatever base numeracy it is raised with. So if we were all raised from grade school, from elementary school, with base 12 notation still, we would probably have no problem with it and woo, greatest generation or whatever. But we're not. And likewise, I mean, if we were raised with binary, or if we were all as stupid as computers and we could only differentiate between two different things, like there are literally only two things, it's on or it's off, it's 0 or it's 1, and we were still like not even anatomically modern human beings that can only differentiate between two things, and we're just as stupid as computers, and we had to learn by binary notation, we would learn by binary notation. We would figure it out. But we're not. So, you know, base 10 or base 12 notations seem better. And I guess, I was going to say the point I was trying to make, but I'm not sure I'm trying to make a point. There's a camera pointed at me. Was there a point? Okay, so, yes, etymology. Okay. The important difference between base 10 and base 12 notation is the etymology. That's what makes all the difference to me, because the language we use to describe something does matter. I mean, the language we use to describe our units of measurement does help our understanding of units of measurement, and that's the bit that really bothers me about the imperial system, is the absolute mess we've made of the language surrounding it. Because in the metric system, it seems simple enough, right? Like mille from 1,000 and centa from 100 and kilo for 1,000 on the other side of the spectrum. But you know that a milliliter is 1,000th of a liter, and you know that a centiliter is 100th of a liter, or a deciliter, which I've never heard anybody say, but you would understand that it was 1/10 of a liter, right? And I've never heard anybody say a kiloliter either, but I guess that would be 1,000 liters. That's, you know, for like whales in captivity. Now I'm sad. But you just don't have any language that supports the imperial system in the same way. And in fact, I think like British gallons are different from American gallons for some reason, and you also have ounces as a unit of measurement for weight that are different from fluid ounces, which I think are a unit of measurement for mass, and I don't really understand how they differ. And ounces, what the hell are ounces? Ounces are like the bits of a newborn that weren't good enough to be pounds yet. And also, are the ounces in a newborn, like, are they weight ounces or are they fluid ounces? Because like, aren't newborns like 75% fluid? So if the ounces in a baby are fluid ounces, then shouldn't babies be described as like 2 pounds 54 ounces instead of like, you know, 6 pounds 4 ounces, because they're mostly fluid? And I don't understand where we got most of those names. What does an ounce correspond to? What does, I literally can't think of any of the other measurements, units of measurement in the imperial system. Pounds. There are ounces and there are pounds, and you're supposed to fucking bake with them. And I guess there are cups. Are cups imperial? I think cups are maybe not so bad, because like at least 3/4 of a cup corresponds to 214 milliliters, and at least that's mathematable. But let's use those toothpicks because we have some.
We also used the oven mitts because we have them.
Yes. Oh, I think that's perfect. That is a clean toothpick. They're supposed to be clean, right? That's the way you want them to be? You don't know either. What I do know is that it should bounce back slightly. Yay! It's a perfect. Morning! Please don't look at the clock on the oven. I baked 2 of these round cakes last night, and I used some chocolate frosting to stack them and stick them together. And I have put them on the cake carrying case upside down. They're not upside down, the cake carrying case is upside down. So we're gonna have to perform a flip maneuver, and I think we can do it. I have also dressed myself a bit better today because we plan to actually deliver the birthday cake to my parents' front porch at some point today, and you know, special occasion. All my dad requested for his birthday cake was a devil's food cake with chocolate frosting, but I still want to do something to make it a bit fancy, so today I gotta think about the way I can decorate this cake to make it extra special, and I can't just go out and pop back to the grocery store to get more ingredients or supplies, so I'm just going to have to use what we already had in the apartment and get a bit creative with it, and this is the bit that will probably go hilariously wrong. Let's try this again, but this time I think I'm just going to get you to stop me when I reach 20 seconds. I am the very model of effective social distancing. I listen to the experts on the topic of resistancing. I know that brunch and yoga class aren't nearly as imperative as doing what I can to change the nation's viral narrative. I'm very well acquainted too with living solitarily and confident that everyone can do it temporarily. Go take a walk or ride a bike or dig into an unread book. Avoid the bars and restaurants, but carry out and learn to cook.
Stop.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, see, I wasn't paying attention to the actually washing my hands because I was trying to remember that. Also, I don't know who to credit for that filking. I have seen various posts of it floating around for a week or so, but if you know who I should credit, let me know. My brilliant decorating plan is to make this a portrait cake. What is a portrait cake? I don't know. I think I'm just making it up, but if it already exists, then the form of portrait cake that already exists is almost definitely not the same as what I'm about to do. My plan is to make a sugar cookie topper using the same round cake pan, so it should be approximately the same size and shape as the 2 cakes I made last night, and be able to put the sugar cookie topper on top and pour some white chocolate covering on it, and then paint a portrait of my father on his birthday cake. Do you figure this is half a cup of butter?
There's surely a mark on the packaging that says how much.
Oh, probably even more than half a cup of butter. Or not. It's going in. No, I retract the previous assertion. Cups are terrible. Cups are... I accidentally threw away the bit of the packaging for the sugar cookie mix that told me what temperature I should set the oven to preheat to. So I've set it to preheat to 325 degrees because that was the same temperature that I baked the cake at. I guess I got frustrated with the packaging because it was all like mixed together, the sugar cookie mix with half a cup of butter that's softened but not melted, and I was like, bitch, how? And also, what? So like that chunk of butter, it was way more than half a cup of butter, and but half a cup of it looks like it will pour. Whisk!
So how is the whisking going? No?
No, whisk didn't work. You cannot whisk sugar cookie. I was gonna call it batter, but apparently sugar cookies make sugar cookie dough. But that's fine. Like, you know, you watch how clean my hands were. So we're just gonna, you know, make some. I suppose I'd better keep this pretty thin. I don't think I want to just dump all of the sugar cookie dough batter into the cake pan, because that will be too much.
We do have a rolling pin if you want to roll it out first.
We do?
Yeah.
Ew. Oh, no, we're just gonna... Oh, it is what it is. Okay, I am going to relocate the cake onto a large plate so that we can rewash the cake carrying case and put it there.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Would it not be easier to put the plate on top of that, flip it over, put it down on the plate? No?
No, it would not.
Yeah, you're right. It would not have been easier.
So we just need to wash that again. That's fine. I'm going to ice around the edges. The instructions on the matching Betty Crocker frosting say to stir it 20 times. Okay. And then I should be able to put it around the outside. I suppose there's probably some correct form of infrastructure one ought to use to ice a cake that isn't a fork and a knife. Yeah, you can't think of it either.
I was thinking like a spatula of a kind that we have.
Oh, you are just making words up. I'm sorry, a what? Yeah, Matt went searching for a spatula, but I don't think we do own a spatula. I don't know, like...
People who consider themselves bakers and take baking seriously, are y'all super rich and have these wealthy homes with walk-in closets for your baking supplies? Like, I imagine you must have pantries the way celebrities have closets for all the infrastructure.
Am I being too mean?
No, no. So you're being a normal level. You can like take the sound off this though if you like, and just have it like on double speed.
Aw, no. Unless you think I was that mean that I should remove my own audio.
You can decide for yourself when you're editing.
Oh. It's probably not the prettiest cake you will see on the internet today, but I have fully frosted the cake and returned it to the cake carrying case in its full upright position, so I think we will be cleared for landing. And the sugar cookie topper. I have never actually made sugar cookies before because I don't like sugar cookies, but I thought it would make a nice palette. Sorry, canvas, not palette, canvas. Forgive me, Father. I had thought that because sugar cookie dough is so dense that it didn't rise much, but it turns out it does rise quite a bit, so I probably should have spread it thinner. The good news is it's quite soft, so I think if I can get this cookie topper in place, it's still going to slice nicely like a cake and not be too crunchy of a cookie. The question is whether it's going to come out of the pan cooperatively and whether I'm going to get that nice flat canvas surface. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Ooh, okay. Oh, yes, okay. I was expecting that to be a lot more difficult than it was. Let me just put that a little more in the middle. Great. I promised I'd wash my hands well and practice singing even more songs. Okay, I have gessoed my canvas, and I have a disposable plate palette. Canvas palette, I think I've got got those terms the right way around now. And the white chocolate melts have, yeah, they're not even tacky. It has dried to quite a nice surface. So I'm hopeful that I can paint a portrait of my father on this cake. He actually is a painter, like a professional painter. So nothing I do is going to be up to his standard anyway, but that relieves a lot of the pressure. When I said that I was going to paint the cake, I probably should have specified that I was using the Wilton concentrated gel colors, not just straight up acrylics on the cake. But it is done. I included a lot of details that I think of as like endearing smile lines, which Dad may not find as endearing on the occasion of his 70th birthday, but you know. Now we deliver.
That door opens out, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't need to bring the door. They're right there.
But the door down
the door
here
opens
opens
out.
out.
Wait. Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jamie. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. It's incredible. It's snapped on here.
It is snapped on, yeah. Okay. It's windy.
Top layer.
Sugar cookie. Welcome. Imperial system. Bad.